Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really exciting career transition, becoming a licensed Texas real estate agent. If you've been looking for a clear, no-nonsense breakdown of exact what it takes to get licensed, and honestly, what it takes to build a thriving business once you actually have that license, you are in the exact right place. We're going to dive straight into the real numbers, the exact step-by-step process, and the mindset you absolutely need to succeed. So let's start with a question that is incredibly relevant for a lot of you watching. Can you actually build a lucrative career around deployments, active duty schedules, and just the general unpredictability of military life? We're looking at this heavily from the perspective of someone stepping out of a military career or navigating the really intense life of a military spouse. The thing is, real estate is completely unique because it operates as this highly adaptable second career. It literally bends around your PCS moves, the kids' school schedules, and mandatory field time in a way that a normal W-2 job just can't.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've got a tactical mission plan for this explainer today. 1. A flexible second career. 2. 5 steps to licensure. 3. The true cost breakdown. 4. Essential career soft skills. And 5. Running your 1099 business.
Let's kick things off with part 1, a flexible second career. Listen, for transitioning soldiers, veterans, and military spouses, especially if you're operating near a major hub like Fort Hood out in Texas, this high-income path is just incredibly adaptable. Think about it. No degree required. The coursework is 100% online, meaning you can literally study during your downtime or even while you're deployed. The state's whole licensing system is built for people living real, demanding lives. There's no ticking clock forcing you to finish by some rigid deadline. You get to set the pace. Moving right along to part 2, 5 steps to licensure. So how do we actually execute this? Well, for someone pacing themselves around active duty or a full-time job, knocking out these steps generally takes about 3 to 6 months. Step 1 is simply to qualify. You just got to be 18 or older and clear a standard background check. Step 2 is the heavy lift, 180 hours of coursework. Now, Texas demands more pre-licensing education than almost anywhere else, but that heavy requirement actually gives you a massive advantage in contract knowledge right from day 1. Step 3 is submitting your TREC application and getting your fingerprinting done. Step 4 is passing the Pearson VUE exam. And finally, step 5 is finding a sponsoring broker. You actually can't legally practice without a broker holding your license. Now, what's really interesting here is the Pearson VUE exam. It's a rigorous, scenario-based state test. We're not talking about a simple vocabulary quiz here. With a 56% first-time pass rate and a 44% fail rate, this is a hard, data-driven reality check. You cannot speed run or skim your way through those 180 hours of coursework. You've got to take the studying incredibly seriously to clear this gate on the very first try.
All right, part 3, the true cost breakdown.
Let's look at the exact 2026 financial battle plan you need to hold that license in your hand. Your pre-licensing education is going to run anywhere between $400 and $1,000. The TREC application fee is roughly $185 to $206. The Pearson VUE exam, that's $43 per attempt. And your fingerprinting is another $37 to $40. When you tally the whole shebang up, the total initial licensing cost lands very safely between $800 and $1,300. It's remarkably accessible, right? But, and this is absolutely crucial, we have to explicitly separate that baseline licensing cost from your actual business operations budget. The second your license activates, you're going to need an additional $500 to $1,500 just for startup costs. We're talking essentials here. Your multiple listing service or MLS dues, your mandatory errors and omissions insurance, local association fees, and your initial marketing expenses to, actually find clients. You've got to build a budget for these startup and ongoing marketing expenses if you really want to compete. Which brings us to part 4, essential career soft skills. Honestly, getting the license and paying the fees, that's just the price of admission. True survival in this industry requires specific operational soft skills so you don't end up quitting in year 2. The first fundamental truth you need to know is that real estate is entirely a conversation business. The agent who listens better wins way more often than the agent who talks better. And that requires immense discipline. You have to learn to ask open-ended questions and then, this is the hard part, actually listen to the answer instead of uncomfortably trying to fill the silence with your own chatter. Next up is discipline and self-management. You have to build your own day and hit your own targets. For our viewers coming from a military background, your ingrained military discipline is literally your biggest asset here. Self-direction is absolutely mandatory. Why? Because neither your sponsoring broker nor the housing market is going to wake you up and tell you what to do every morning. You have to be totally self-propelled.
And then there's this quote, which is just a crucial perspective on resilience. Take rejection as data. What does this tell me about my message, my list, my market, rather than as a verdict on yourself? You are going to hear the word no thousands of times. Deals are going to collapse, leads are going to ghost you. That rejection is inevitable. And you've got to analyze it objectively as tactical intelligence to improve your approach, rather than seeing it as a personal defeat.
Finally, part 5, running your 1099 business. Here's the wild thing. None of those 180 pre-licensing hours actually teach you core business literacy. As a standard W-2 employee, you've got that financial safety net of regular income, and your employer automatically handles all your taxes. But as a 1099 contractor, you're dealing with irregular commission-based income, and you are officially a self-managed small business owner. Overnight, you are 100% responsible for managing your own taxes, your own healthcare, and building your own savings cushion. So to handle this effectively, you need a strict financial operating procedure. You must prepare for irregular income, ruthlessly set aside money from every single commission check for your 1099 taxes, and build a real savings cushion. Just to put it in perspective, part-time agents in Texas typically make around $15 to $40K, while full-timers pull in $75 to $150K or more. But your survival through that notoriously lean first year, it heavily depends on basic business literacy, tracking your metrics, and strict budgeting. So what does this all mean? The gates to enter this industry are really not that high. 180 hours, a background check, and roughly $1,000 gets you right in the door. The whole system bends to fit your life. But the ultimate question is this: are you ready to build the career? Transforming a piece of paper into a disciplined, lucrative, and lasting business takes real grit, strategy, and self-management. Are you ready for that mission?